You ever have one of those nights where the whole world just cracks open, and everything you thought you knew about yourself spills out on the floor? Yeah, that was me. 3 years ago. Staring at a wall of red alerts in the middle of downtown Chicago. The city lights blinking like they didn't give a damn that my company River North Dynamics was bleeding out right in front of me. I'm Elena Harper. And 15 years of grinding. Of missing birthdays. Of burying my mom without even a proper goodbye because I was in Tokyo closing a deal. All of it. Gone in a heartbeat. $12 billion up in smoke because some ghost in the machine decided tonight was the night to burn it all down. I'd sent the tech team home hours earlier, calmed, stand their panicked faces. The way they kept saying, "We're trying." MS. Harper, like that was supposed to fix anything, so it was just me. The glow of the screens. And the kind of silence that makes your ears ring. Then I heard it. Wheels squeaking down the hall. Slow and steady. Like the building itself was breathing. I looked up, and there's this guy in a navy jumpsuit pushing a cleaning cart. Dude looked like he'd seen every kind of mess the city could throw at him, and still showed up to mop it anyway. Dark skin. Close-cropped hair. Eyes that didn't flinch when they met mine, just calm. Like he already knew the ending to a story I hadn't finished writing. He stops at my door. Taps the glass real soft. "You okay in there?" Brooklyn accent. Warm. The kind that makes you want to answer even when you don't feel like talking. I laughed. Dry? Bitter. Define Okami Empire, just flatlined. He glances at the screens. All that chaos flashing red. And says, "Real matter of fact. That's a zero-day exploit chain with a privilege escalation nasty. But not hopeless." I blinked. This guy pushing a mop just diagnosed my catastrophe better than my six-figure engineers. Used to do pen testing for a living. He says, shrugging. Before life rerouted me. I should have laughed him out of the room. But something in his voice quiet. Certain. Like he'd already decided not to let the night win made me step aside. "Knock yourself out. Mystery man." His name tag read Caleb Brooks. And the second his fingers hit the keyboard, it was like watching a pianist who'd never forgotten the song. Lines of code flying. Commands I hadn't seen since grad school. And slowly got. So slowly the red started fading. Folders blinking back into existence like stars coming out after a storm. 6 hours later. Dawn creeping through the blinds. The system coughed. Rebooted. And the screen lit up green, restore complete. I just stared. Coffee long gone cold in my hand. And Caleb leans back. Wipes his forehead with the sleeve of that janitor uniform. And smiles small. Tired. Real. "Your baby's breathing again. MS. Harper. Just needed someone who wouldn't quit on her." Cut to 6 hours earlier, boardroom. 23rd floor. Me in a charcoal suit sharp enough to cut glass. Selling the merger with Apex Solutions like it was the second coming. 50,000 employees. Global footprint. All of it riding on this deal. And nobody in that room knew I was running on fumes and guilt thick enough to choke on. My mom's voice still echoed sometimes, "Elena. Slow down. The numbers won't miss you if you take a weekend," but I'd missed her last birthday. Her chemo sessions. The funeral. Because Singapore needed a signature. Success has a price. I kept telling myself. But that night, I started wondering if I'd overpaid. Meanwhile, down on 12. Caleb's rolling his cart past cubicles. Earbuds in. Listening to some Python deep dive podcast like it's jazz. Hands that once broke into Fortune 500 networks now grip a mop handle. But the brain behind them never clocked out. His wife, Maya, died 3 years back, ovarian cancer. Brutal. Fast left him with a 6-month-old named Zoe and a mountain of bills no insurance plan covers. Top firms wouldn't touch a guy who'd been off the grid that long. So janitor it was. Day shift, bleach and trash bags. Night shift, laptop on the kitchen table. Teaching himself Rust while Zoe slept in a laundry basket crib. He told her once. When she asked why he didn't work with computers like the smart people on TV. That time with her was the only promotion that mattered. Kid just hugged him and said, "But you're the smartest, Daddy." And that was that. Back in the server room, freezing. Humming. Racks of blinking LEDs like a mechanical heartbeat. Caleb's got one hand on the master console. The other scrolling logs faster than I can track. Backups are air-gapped smart. That's our lifeline. I hand him the master keycard without a second thought. Which is insane because I don't trust anyone with that thing. But his eyes, they don't ask for permission. They just promise not to waste it. 6 hours of silence broken only by keystrokes and the occasional gotcha under his breath. And then the screens flip green across the board. I laugh. Actually laugh. For the first time in years. And it scares me how good it feels. How do I even begin to thank you? He shakes his head. Don't. Just don't let the system be the only thing you fix tonight. Morning hits. And the 23rd floor looks like a crime scene. Empty coffee cups. Stunned faces. Whispers bouncing off glass walls. I call the execs in. Caleb standing beside me still in that navy jumpsuit. And I lay it out. This man saved us. Effective immediately. He's heading our new cybersecurity division report straight to me. You should have seen Vanessa Park. My CTO. Arms crossed, so tight her knuckles went white. A janitor fixed what our whole team couldn't. The room buzzed like a hive. I didn't flinch. That's exactly what I said. Vanessa corners me later in the hallway. Voice low. Venom dripping. You're betting the farm on a stranger. Elena. One good night doesn't make him a miracle. I stop. Meet her eyes cool. Steady. He saw a way when no one else did. That's not luck. That's vision. She walks off. Heels clicking like gunfire. And I feel the first prick of doubt not in Caleb, but in how blind I've been to the knives already inside the walls. Caleb's first week is brutal. 5 Mentos staring. Engineers testing him with trick questions. Coffee machine sabotage, yeah. Really. But the man rebuilds our entire defense stack from scratch. Trains a skeleton crew of night shift coders who actually listen. And still catches the 6:15 bus to pick Zoe up from daycare. Then one night. 2 a.m. He's alone in the lab. Screens casting blue shadows on his face. And he spots it goes traffic. Same signature as the original attack. But coming from inside. Someone's still playing. He sets trap shony pots dressed up like crown jewel databases. Fake admin tokens that phone home the second they're touched. Pattern emerges, late night logins. Privilege escalations. Always the same credentials. Vanessa Park. My stomach drops. Caleb brings me a thumb drive. Plugs it in. And there it is, metadata. Timestamps. Wiped logs that weren't wiped clean enough. She's not the mastermind. He says. Voice flat. But she's the door they're walking through. We play it close, let Vanessa think she's still golden, while Caleb maps the money trail. Turns out Apex wasn't the only shark circling. A shadow outfit called Obsidian Networks had been buying insiders for months. Promising board seats. Golden parachutes. The usual poison. Vanessa's motive. She'd been passed over for CEO twice. Told her ideas were too aggressive. Watch me take the spotlight while she fixed my messes. Resentment festers quiet until someone offers a match. Then it gets personal. Caleb finds a GPS tracker magnet stuck under his beat-up Corolla. Gets a burner text stop digging or the kid pays. He doesn't sleep. Next day, Zoe's preschool calls some guy in a black sedan parked across the street all morning. Just watching. Caleb's there in 12 minutes flat. Scooping Zoe up. Her little arms shaking around his neck. He almost quits right then. Almost walks away to keep her safe. But Zoe looks up. Tears drying. And whispers. Daddy. Bad guys don't win. Right. And that's the moment he decides losing isn't an option. We go deeper. Caleb builds the perfect bait-isolated server. Looks legit. Stuffed with fake financials that scream merger secrets. 4th night. Bite. Intrusion alert pings from a high-rise in the loop. Caleb and I race over. City lights streaking past like comets. We find Lillian Grantme, CFO. My mentor. The woman who held my hand the day we incorporated in a crappy WeWork sitting at a corner desk. Calm as Sunday brunch. Fingers dancing over a laptop. You're late. Elena. She says without looking up. I was wondering when you'd finally see me. The air's thick enough to chew. You sold us out. My voice cracks on the last word. Lillian smiles. Thin. Sad. I sold a version of us that stopped caring about people the second the stock ticker blinked green. Obsidian offered freedom, real freedom. Not your gilded cage. Caleb steps forward. Laptop open. Freedom doesn't come from torching 15,000 jobs. He hits enter, her screen locks. Red warnings blooming like poppies. Every keystroke. Every transfer. Recorded. Feds are 3 minutes out. Lillian doesn't fight. Just looks at me. Eyes glassy. You saw him after one night. Elena. I gave you 15 years and you never asked if I was drowning. Agents cuff her. Heels dragging across marble. And her last words echo down the hall. Enjoy the throne while it's still warm. Next morning the headlines scream River North CFO busted in espionage Estingan, the stock should tank. But something wild happens. People see the footage, me. Stone-faced. Reading a statement about transparency. Caleb beside me in a borrowed suit 2 sizes too big. Zoe's tiny hand in his. They see a company that bled in public and didn't hide the scars. Shares don't just recover, they moan. Crisis turns into creed. I launched the Phoenix track hire, the overlooked. The written off. The one society stuck in the unemployable bin. Ex-cons who code like poets. Single moms who reverse engineer malware between diaper changes. Vets with PTSD who find peace in packet traces. Caleb mentors them. Still leaves at 6 sharp every night to cook Zoe's favorite mac and cheese with the little hot dog octopuses she loves. We turn the old server room into the Brooks Innovation Lab, open floor. Whiteboard walls. And a corner with beanbags and crayons, because kids shouldn't have to choose between parents and potential. 2 years later. I'm on a conference stage in Vegas. Lights hot. Crowd restless. And I ditch the slide deck. Everyone wants to know how we survived the hack. I say. Truth. We didn't. We died that night and got reborn because a janitor refused to mop around the mess. I look dead at Caleb in the back row. Zoe on his shoulders waving a glittery sign that says Daddy fixes everything. Look at your barista. Your security guard. The guy holding the cardboard sign. They're not background characters. Sometimes they're the only ones who see the fire before the smoke alarms do. Standing ovation feels nice. But the real wins ladder ain't slick streets. The 3 of us under one umbrella. Zoe's sneakers splashing puddles that catch the skyline like shattered mirrors. Caleb nudges me. You know what Zoe asked me this morning? If a mess. Elena's gonna be at her birthday party. I laugh. Throat tight. Tell her the cake's on me in the bouncy house. Zoe squeals. Slips her tiny hand into mine. And just like that. Family isn't a word in a policy manual anymore. So here's the thing, miracles don't fall from the sky. They roll in on squeaky wheels wearing someone else's name tag. Question is, who are you walking past right now without seeing? Drop a 100 in the comments if you believe second chances aren't charity. Their strategy, and tell me the last time you looked. Really looked. At someone the world wrote off. Hit share if this hit you in the feels. Because somewhere out there is a Caleb mopping your hallway. Waiting for the night everything breaks so he can show you how to put it back stronger. And if you're the one holding the mop, keep going. Your empire might be one red alert away from needing you.